All right, so we have another brand new feature in FX Replay, which is going to be on the analytics page, and that is the Drawdown Analytics. It's been a long time coming for this one, and we are super stoked to show you guys that we have added Drawdown Analytics that are actually meaningful and impactful, and let me show you them, okay? So when you get onto the analytics section here, you're gonna see these tabs. One, you have the simulators, which if you guys are unaware, we do have the RR simulator that asks or answers the question basically, what if I took a 3R? What if I took a 4R? What would happen to my equity curve? So go check that out if you haven't already. But now we have the Drawdown Analytics, which are absolutely amazing. And what it's gonna show you here are a couple things. One is your drawdown on equity, your MAE or your maximum adverse excursion, and then finally your metrics on your wins. So your average drawdown on your wins, your minimum drawdown on your wins, and your maximum drawdown on your wins. So you're going to start to see all of this here, and we will explain it a little bit further now. So just so you're aware, if you are still confused or you want to get some insight as to how to use this, simply just click how this works here. It's going to open up in a different tab here, and you will be able to see basically an explanation of every single thing, what everything means, and how to use it. Okay, so just so you're aware, that's all there for you. Now, let's first look at the drawdown on equity. What you're going to see here is basically all of your periods of drawdown. So whenever you go from a peak to any series of losing trades, you're going to see that the peak will start off at the 0%, right? Because you're at 0% drawdown. And then after every loss that you take from your peak, it's going to go down, right? And then it goes back up. So that means you hit a new peak. Once it goes back up to 0%, it means you got up to a new peak. And so you can imagine this as saying, okay, this was my period of drawdown. This one lasted 5 days, say roughly 6 days. Okay. And then this one here, and then this one here, and all of these ones. And then you get these bigger ones that it doesn't quite get up to the 0 line and keeps going down. Well, this whole thing is now considered a drawdown period, right? Until we hit that 0 line again. So this is how it's going to look, and this is how you can understand it. And you can also extract some really good lessons from this. Like, for example, what is your max drawdown? So right here is going to be the 11.6%. Right? So I lost at max, my biggest drawdown that I've lost from a peak to a trough or a peak to a valley, the highest point to the lowest point is going to be 11.6%. Now, out of all the drawdowns that I've had in the past, the average that I face is 1.65%. So that's not too bad. It's basically a loss and a half, a little bit more than a loss and a half, right? So 2 losses, let's say, is going to be my average drawdown, which is not bad. Right? That means it's easily recoverable. And then when we're talking about my drawdowns in total, the average time it takes to recover from a drawdown is 14.6 days. Meaning if I hit a peak or I created a peak in my equity, it goes up, creates a peak, it goes down into a drawdown. It takes me roughly 14 and a half days to recover from that drawdown completely. Right? And that's really good to know, right? It really lets you know and gets you comfortable with being in drawdown. Okay, I'm in this drawdown now. This is roughly how long it's going to take me to get out of it. Just stick to my plan. Just keep moving forward, right? Really helps with the mentality side of things. And then finally here is going to be your drawdown frequency. So it's going to count all these times that you've went into drawdown. How many times in this session or in this period have I went in drawdown? So this is basically almost a year of data. So basically in a year, I go into drawdown 29 times. That's really good to know, right? I can track that as I'm progressing through the year. I can understand, okay, where am I at relative to my average, and so on and so forth. Very good details here. Again, more on the mentality thing and really teach you what your strategy entails and what a drawdown looks like, what it feels like, how often you get out of it. And you could prove to yourself, hey, yeah, I win 11% drawdown, but I keep getting out of it. And I have the data to show me that. So this is really helpful for you guys to look at. And if you want to look at it in regards to the maximum values or the actual absolute values, rather, the dollars, you could look at it right here, just like this, right? Again, I like it in percent, but it flips. You could see that. And so if you want to see it in dollar value, you could see it right there. Okay. Now, let's get into the MAE, so maximum adverse excursion. And this is very simple. I mean, it looks a little complex. Maybe you don't know how it works, but I'm going to try my best to explain it here for you, okay? So it's basically R multiple is on the bottom, okay? So what this is in R multiple, and then how many trades actually hit that level. And so the idea is that out of all the trades that I've taken, how many of them went into 0.1% drawdown, or sorry, 0.1R drawdown, 0.2R drawdown, 0.3R drawdown? How many of them went into 0.9 or full losses at 1? Or what about those ones that I manage my positions and I keep dragging my stop loss down and I take more than a 1R loss, right? I could start to see that here. And what the purpose of this is to, one, start to see how many losses do you have, or how many trades do you have that get beyond 1R, because that tells you, hey, I should probably stop dragging my stop loss, right? I should probably stop moving it and just let it become that loss, because you could lose significantly more that way. But also it's to kind of get an idea of your distribution of where are your trades typically going into. And you can see a lot of my trades are actually 24 trades are going in between 0R and 0.1, which means really like less than 10% drawdown on these trades, which is really good. I mean, that means that I'm getting really good entries. And you can actually see with my distribution, it keeps going down, it keeps going down, it keeps going down until 0.91, which is basically a full loss, right? So we don't worry about those right now, but we could see that it keeps going down except for 0.6, about 60% drawdown. That's where this little blip is going. And so with that, I could say to myself, well, majority of my trades are actually in a really good spot. I'm getting really good entries, and it keeps going down over time, which means that my efficiency or the where I'm entering is actually really good. Now, I do get this blip at 0.6, 60% of them are going, I have 16 trades that are going down to 60% of my stop loss. So it's very interesting to see that, and maybe there's some refinement that I can do. So we could use this, and in conjunction with our wins right here, you could say, okay, my average drawdown on my wins is 0.43R, right? Which is excellent. My minimum drawdown, there was once I must have hit a trade here that it had literally zero drawdown, which is very rare, but I must have hit it on this one. And then my maximum drawdown on my winner was 0.98. So it basically almost hit my stop loss, and then it turned around for a win. But with this, you could see my average is 0.43, which makes a lot of sense, right? I'm getting a lot of 0 to 1, so basically 10%, and then it starts going, and this is where the bulk of the frequency of my trades comes in, right? It's just this little blip right up here that you see where I'm getting a decent amount of trades. But potentially what that tells me is that my average drawdown is 43% of my stop loss. So is there any way that I can actually expand my risk to reward by moving my stop a little bit more, or by moving my entries? Hey, I'm typically enter here. I can move my entry a little bit lower, and so it's going to shrink that risk to reward, but it's going to allow me to enter the trades that I want to get in. Now, the problem is because I have a really high frequency of trades here, it's probably something that I don't want to mess around with too much. I want to get some more data in and test that theory. But that's essentially it. We could use this data here to actually come to real life conclusions as to what we should do with our trading, how we can mitigate our drawdown, how we can control our drawdown a little bit more. And ultimately, this is really going to unlock a lot of great things for you. We have some incredible updates to come for this, specifically with the MAE. You're going to have all the information that you need regarding your drawdown and how to improve. And yeah, I hope you guys get a ton of value out of it. Let us know if you need any other improvements or any other features on the Drawdown Analytics. We'd love to deliver that for you. So let us know in the comments what you guys think, and we'll catch you in the next one.